Hello everybody! I'm going to show you about this great resource for online drawing, just a basic overview of it. There'll be other videos for more details depending on a project, but just to get the gist of how to use this. So when you type it in, it should come up with a nice blank canvas. Something that might also pop up is your files. So if you see this, well, you won't be seeing this because these are my drawings, but if you were to open it up and it would have some of these are drawings I did from last school year, so it does save your work on here, which is great. Now if I wanted to create a new one, I would create by that plus sign that says new and go to blank document. There are other types of paper that you could work on. For the majority, I usually work with the blank and click create. Now for these features, you have crop and resize. When you click on the calligraphy, there's a whole bunch of different options for these brushes, and you can play around with them. I'm going to go with the paintbrush tool just so we have a large option so I can use as an example. But as I hold down my mouse or my finger on my keyboard, it's going to draw anything you want. So I'm holding it down and I'm continuing this line. I'm not letting go. As soon as I let go, it's going to create a layer right here. So right here was that brush tool that I was using. If I click on this eyeball, it's going to hide it. If I open it back up, it will show here. So you could always take an eraser and to erase anything that you drew. So if I take this eraser, make it a little wider and erase, what's going to happen is it's not just going to erase those lines, it's also going to erase my background. And it's going to become a transparent background now. So if I was to save this image, it'd probably show up as a black line because that background is transparent. So to avoid this, what I could do is actually, on this layer tool, is just delete what I did. Okay? And then there's other features with send to back. So if I send it to the back, it's going to go right before the background. Or send backwards if I had multiple layers and I wanted something to go behind it. So if I change the color, I'll show you how this will work. If I change the color of my brush, there's options in here. There's also options for changing it to be a gradient, so you can play with those. Something that I usually don't have on is the fill, and I'll show you why. So that black layer brush changed because I was holding on to it. I was holding that layer, and then as I changed the color, it was changing that layer, and then when I click back, it's going to show up again. Okay, so let me get out of the layers features. I can close my mouse, get back to the paintbrush, and I'll pick a different color. So maybe I'll do these nice color of gradient. So as I'm working with the paintbrush, it's going to do that gradient. Okay, now here's where it's tricky with that fill. So I'm going to go back to a plain color. I'll do green. The complementary color of green is red, so we will keep that in there. This is what's going to happen. Say I draw a line. This feature of filling in those gaps is what it's going to do. Personally, I don't like working with this, but if that's something that you want to explore, go right ahead. Now, if you start drawing a line, you see that, how you can fix this issue is just go back and turn fill off. Okay? Now, if I wanted to delete that, I could go into the layers over here and say I actually liked this, but I want it to be in the back. Send backwards. Now it's behind that one layer. If I send all the way to the back, it's going to go behind all these layers. So this is a feature that you can play with the layers. And then if I just want to delete them. Say you really like something and you want to duplicate it again. You click duplicate, and then you can move it around. Say you drew a really nice cloud and you want to duplicate it. That's a feature that you can do. Okay? And then again, just delete, 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 delete. Okay, so those are all the different brushes you can use are in here. Now, if you want to make sure you turn that fill off, I personally don't like working with the fill on. You can change the length, the width of your line by here. So after you're done playing around with the different features, you can also play with the color scheme of these. It's a free program that you can play with all these different features. You can paint with different layers. Another feature is adding in your own images, so you can load your own image as the clip art, or if you like any of their clip arts that they have, say a wolf, you can add it in. But if you have an image that you want to load in yourself, so say I want to load my craftsmanship poster into here, I can, and then that's a layer. And if I want to move it, I have that select tool and I'm able to move it around. Okay. But again, I'm just going to delete these. Oh, I keep clicking duplicate. And if you press shift down, you can put them all together and then click on the dots and click delete. So if you want to do it quicker, not individually. And then you can add text to the features. You can play with all the different lines, the spacing, and then you can fill. Say I wanted the background to be different. Okay. And then you can also play with these features of how much color you want in each one. So that's just a few of the many resources on here that you can use. Now say that I am done, what I will be doing is clicking export. You can download this as a PDF or a JPEG, and then it will instantly download. So usually I just drag it to my desktop, or I have to go to my recently downloaded to find that. Now this was just a quick overall how to use this. If you have any questions or need more resources on how to use any of the features on this, please contact us, or there might already be some YouTube videos made for us for our project. So happy creating, everybody.